From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE PBS and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
Welcome to this episode of Live at 5 with WCTE PBS. I'm Cephas Ablakwa, and today's episode is focused on education. We have three exciting guests for you, four exciting guests actually. Our first guest is Mandy Ross. How are you?
I'm well. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you're here to talk about the CTE programs and the pathway certification. So first I want to ask, just tell us about yourself and your background.
Sure. So my name is Mandy, like you said, and I'm a teacher at Cookeville High School. The teaching as a profession pathway educator. And I've been teaching in that program specifically for the last 7 years. Have about 17.5 years of teaching experience under my belt total, but just 7 within this pathway specifically.
And there was a time that we taught together too.
Absolutely.
Right? At Cookeville High School.
Love that time.
Yes.
Great memories.
Well, good. Well, first of all, tell us what the certified pathway is, or pathway certification. Tell us what that is.
Sure. So in career technical education, or CTE as we call it today, there is this process to get certified from the state of Tennessee. And we were very fortunate to participate in this process this year as part of a pilot program for on-site visits for the certification. And basically what the state says is if you're certified, these pathways are exemplary and are providing a seamless transition from what students do in the high school courses, in CTE classes, a seamless pathway to post-secondary training in that specific field. So it truly is an honor for both of our education-related pathways to be certified by the state this year.
So is this for students going into college, straight into the career field? Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's for both, because career technical education is not just for those education classes that we're teaching, but all of the industry-related careers that we're offering those courses for at the high school. So whether that's mechatronics or health sciences or auto mechanics, we have all of those opportunities for both career after high school and or a college preparation program.
Now, how long have we had this program in Putnam County school system?
So teaching as a profession specifically, this is the 7th year that we've offered it. So I don't know statewide how long it's been out there, but for the last 7 years, I've been teaching these classes and have really had to start at square one with only one class and was able to build it all the way through until we offer the practicum now, which is kind of like a skills embedded experience out in classrooms in Putnam County schools.
Now there's 2 different pathways, I think?
So I'm the educator for teaching as a profession, and we also have early childhood education careers. And we have some overlap in the grade levels, but they are both such great opportunities for students to be learning while they're in high school what the expectations are for starting a career in education and how to really make that transition from what they're doing in high school to that post-secondary program, already having a foundation in the skills that they're going to need, what to expect from coursework, and really what, a day in the life of a teacher is like, because they're getting so much hands-on experience in high school.
So now tell us specifically about your students and how some of the success stories you have and some of the things that goes on in your classroom.
Sure. So I'm super proud and have been for all of these 7 years that I've been working with these students, because they have a true passion, and it's so encouraging to see high school students already know what that passion is and be ready to pursue it. And so I've got some incredible students right now that are working out in Putnam County schools, all the way from elementary education up through middle school, anywhere from special education to math to social studies. And so it is such a joy to see them discover their talents and learn more about the teaching profession, and then get to go out into the schools to demonstrate those skills and work with teachers and students on a regular basis.
Do we have 3 high schools in our district? Mm-hmm. Is this program in all 3 high schools?
It's not, but I know that this is such an integral part of what our county is wanting to focus on to really strengthen the pipeline from high school to college and then right back into Putnam County schools. There are some surrounding counties that are offering the teaching as profession and early childhood programs. And we've been able to go to conferences and meet with these people and collaborate. And there's a really strong network online of people who teach in this focus area. So there's a great opportunity to see what other programs are doing, for us to share what we're doing, and then also to learn what they're doing that we can incorporate into our pathways.
As a bigger vision for this program in our Putnam County School System, or even in the Upper Cumberland total?
I personally would love to see a more focused effort on finding students that want to be teachers and finding a mentor, and not just waiting until they reach the practicum level of their focus area, but to find them early and to build a relationship that can be nurtured over the years that they're in the pathway. So it's great that they get to go be in the schools and job shadow and do a little bit of hands-on experience here and there, but I would really love to see teachers be intentionally matched up with students that want to teach in that same area, and then foster a really great mentor-mentee relationship that could encourage them for the future.
Well, that's wonderful and wonderful information. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, could you tell us quickly how a student can sign up or get into this program?
So there's really not a lot involved. When they're in middle school, students have the opportunity to select what will be their CTE focus area. And so it starts then with students seeking out teaching as a profession or early childhood education. And then when it's time for them to enroll in their freshman classes, they can enter those intro classes, and then hopefully they find something that they love, and we can start nurturing that passion, and then they'll see it all the way through until they graduate from high school and transition.
Well, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for being here. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Good morning, Lowell High School.
As a parent, I actually learned when my son was in high school how tedious this process could get. And that's when actually I said, I have always been an educator in various capacities. But once I wore that parent hat and watched the process of this college application process unfold in front of my son, and that's when it hit me how stressful it could be, or how stressful it is actually. And because it's not just the test scores. Having a perfect test score and having the highest GPA in school will only put you so far.
I guess you're just looking at like the cream of the crop right here.
I work hard and I strive to be a nerd.
The pressure is insurmountable at times.
Oh my God!
It's the best.
Welcome back to Live at 5. We're here with Stephanie, our next teacher, who is going to talk about the second half of the pathway certification. So first, tell us about your background, how long you've taught in Putnam County Schools.
Okay. My name is Stephanie Ross, and I have been an educator in Putnam County Schools since 2007. I have been teaching in the early childhood education pathway since 2014.
And I think we started at the same time.
Yeah.
I started teaching in 2007 as well. We taught together for at least 10 years, I think. So it's so good to see you again.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on the show. So tell us first, how is your pathway different from Mandy's?
Okay,
pathway?
that's a great question. So, they both fall under the education training pathway. And this is where students, essentially are pre-service teachers. They want to go into an education pathway. But the difference is early childhood education is considered an occupational pathway. So that means that this pathway students have hands-on experience from day one walking into the classrooms, where it is a teacher prep program, but it offers practicum experience from day one. So from the moment they're freshmen, they have an built-in internship where each week and each day for upper level students, they actually get to go and work with a mentor and get the hands-on experience while they're learning content in the classroom. And they have up to 4 levels of classes that they can take for that.
Now, I think I've heard that with your pathway, students can go directly from that to the workforce. How does that work?
Yes. So that's what I love about this pathway is it really does cater to all students. There are students who don't have plans to go to college, and there are, of course, students who wish to get a 4-year degree in a teaching license. So we offer there's different levels in early childhood education, and we have students who wish to pursue like a 2-year associate's degree in early childhood education. And we also have students who wish to just get industry certifications. So really they're allowed to get up to 3 national and state industry certifications in the program, ending with their Child Development Associate's credential. And that is a requirement for all national Head Start programs. To be an entry-level lead teacher, you have to have that credential. And then some of our students, they are college-bound, licensure. They want to be an elementary ed teacher and endorsed in those primary grades and really focus on those first 9 years of life. So really, there is a spot for everybody. It's really it's the individual goal of each student.
Now, you work with Tech quite a bit.
Yes.
In fact, today you want a field trip
Yes,
to Tech.
absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that is Tech's one of our partnerships in both the education and training pathways. So today we were on a tour, a full-day tour with Tennessee Tech. We were able to tour the whole campus, the early childhood buildings, meet all the professors, students who are in this pathway and major, as well as experience like life on campus for a College of Ed major, which is a really cool opportunity. And this really just builds a bridge from the high school to Tennessee Tech professors and builds groundwork and relationships for students to have that seamless pathway from, secondary education to post-secondary education.
So tell us about some of your success stories since you've been doing this for 7 years, is it?
Since 2014, so something like that.
Yeah, so tell us about some of the success stories you have.
So I think the biggest success stories are just when students leave our programs and they go on to get those degrees in early childhood education and become lead teachers in their own classrooms. So right now in Putnam County Schools and in surrounding counties, we have several Putnam County early childhood education career students who are now lead teachers in their own classrooms across the county and across the Upper Cumberland, which is really awesome. And some of those students work in early learning centers, Head Start programs, and some, again, are licensed teachers. So really, that's when it comes full circle.
Do we have any students that are teaching with you or in the system that came through the program that you know of?
That are teaching at Putnam County? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we have some local students. We have some former graduates right now who are in Tennessee Tech's program, but former Cookeville High School graduates, there's actually a lot. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Right.
But I feel like most recently there's been Kiri Jennings now. She is a former CHS student who has a job in early childhood education, and she went through all 4 years at Cookeville High School and, of course, 4 years in the College of Ed at Tech, and was like one of their star students. Also, Megan Pyrus, we're really happy for her. She went on to go to graduate school, but she was also a Cookeville High School graduate and went on to Tennessee Tech as well, and then went to West Tennessee to pursue graduate degrees in education. And I mean, that's just two of the many success stories.
Well, this program is a great program. Thank you both for being on here and for talking to us about it. And hopefully we'll have you back to talk some more sometimes.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you, guys.
Well, we'll be right back with our next guest.
My name is Donna Matson, Director of Human Resources and Business Operations with WCTE PBS. Did you know the broadcasting industry in Tennessee is thriving and offers exciting career opportunities? WCTE has immediate openings for your consideration. Benefits include health, dental, vision, life, retirement, sick time, vacation, holidays, and AFLAC. Visit WCTE.org. Come join our team.
WCTE's Great TV Auction is May 31st through June 12th. All of the behind-the-scenes action is underway, and we need your help. Join in on all the fun by becoming a donation solicitor. For more information, please contact Miranda Maynard via email or call 931-528-2222.
Welcome to your April PBS Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepen with WCTE PBS. In case you missed it, Sanditon Season 2 will be available only on Passport after it broadcasts. Simply log in, sit back, and catch up. If you're hungry for some nail-biting British content, both seasons of Cobra, a show about cyber warfare in modern-day London, are streaming only on Passport. Fun fact, if you've got an April birthday, that's something you have in common with none other than Loretta Lynn. The famous coal miner's daughter singer-songwriter discusses her life and career in My Story in My Words on a Passport exclusive special. Spring is in full swing. Get in touch with your artistic side and paint some landscapes alongside Bob Ross by streaming the best of the joy of painting. Other popular PBS series available on Passport include Great Performances, Austin City Limits, and America's Test Kitchen. If you're a Nicola Walker fan, star of such shows like Unforgotten, you'll love her new show, available for streaming only on Passport. The brand new series Annika features Walker as a detective with a troubled work life and as a troubled mother at home. This show is highly anticipated and not available for broadcast, so if you want to watch it, log on and start streaming on or after the April 17th premiere. Lastly, Benjamin Franklin, a new documentary by Ken Burns, premieres this month. If you missed the broadcast, then you can catch up with a Passport membership benefit starting April 25th. Franklin's fascinating life as an ambassador, inventor, and founding father is nothing if not incomparable. Watch that and many other Ken Burns specials on Passport. If you're not yet a member of WCTE PBS and are interested in becoming one, head to wcte.org/passport for information on how to sign up, or scan the QR code below using your smartphone or tablet. That's it for the April PBS Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepin. Happy spring and keep streaming.
Welcome back to Live at 5 with our next guest, Miss Penny Riddle. Welcome to Live at 5.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you were a teacher in the school system teaching work-based learning, but before that, you also taught. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. I taught at Monterey High School for about 30 years. I taught the business classes. I was in the CTE Focus Pathway of Business. I decided to retire in 2020. So I was actually teaching work-based learning classes at that time also. So my supervisor asked me if I would be interested in doing a 120-day contract and continue on teaching the work-based learning classes. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years in the county.
So for our viewers who do not know, tell us what work-based learning is.
Okay. Work-based learning is a class that bridges the gap between high school and what they've studied and the skills that they have in high school and carry that over into the workforce. It tries to bridge the gap, and we carry those skills over into the workforce. It's offered to all juniors and seniors in high school. They have to be 16 years of age. They must have a valid driver's license, show proof of their insurance, car insurance, and medical insurance.
So when you say bridge the gap, the students actually go off campus?
Yes.
And to work? How does that work?
Well, the students, when they come into the classroom, we have conversations about what their pathway has been while they've been in high school, because every high school student, well, in 8th grade, they have to declare what pathway they want to focus in, and there's several. So we talk about what they've been studying and focusing on while they've been in high school. Then we decide, and we talk about that, and then they tell me what they want to do once they graduate. If they decide they think they want to go into physical therapy, then I have a database of resources of employers that I've used in the past. And so I try to find that placement with someone in physical therapy, and it works like that.
So you've mentioned physical therapy. What are some of the other career paths that they can go into?
Oh, anything. It's open. The sky's the limit. In fact, I went back and looked at some statistics, and we've had work-based learning at Monterey High School for 7 years. So in that 7 years, there's been like 171 students that have gone through the program. And with those 171 students, I have looked at and used around 70 different employers in the Upper Cumberland. And let me just say, at that point, to thank all the employers in the Upper Cumberland, because without those gracious people and businesses, this program would not be the success that it is. So
do you hear some feedback from these employers who are not doing the work-based learning, but when they actually get out into the career field, how they perform compared to people that didn't have work-based learning?
Well, they tell me that their skills are improved in the fact that they have some of those communication skills and being able to interact with, maybe they're in a business where they're seeing and talking to people that are coming into those businesses, so they have to interact with those people. So they feel like that their skills are higher, because a lot of the kids that have come through, if they're playing sports or something, they may have never had a job.
Right.
So they only interact with maybe people in their family. And this allows them to go out and have to talk to people, look at people in the eye, have conversations with them. And so, just being able to communicate is a great skill that people need on any job.
So how, I used to be a high school teacher at Cookeville High School.
Mm-hmm.
How could you walk us through how it actually literally works? Do they check out in the middle of the day? Do they have to go in the morning? How does it work?
No, they can take, just like, for example, at Monterey, they can take the class first and second period, or they can take it seventh and eighth period. We have had some instances with the schedule. We try to be flexible with their schedule. I've had some in the middle of the day. If they have it first and second period, then when they get ready to be placed in their job site, they would go, if they take the class 1 hour, they have to work 3 hours a week. If they take it 2 periods, they have to work 6 hours a week. So in the mornings, we set their schedule. I'll try to be flexible between the student and the employer to be able to work the best schedule for both. And so they would go to work maybe 2 or 3 days, and then they would come on into school after that second period is over. Wow. And they would do the same thing in the seventh and eighth periods, go out in the afternoon.
You talked about Monterey. What about the other high schools? Do we have work-based learning?
Yes, we have work-based learning in all 3 high schools. It had not been at Upperman for a few years, and this year I was able to go back, and we ended up with 12 students at Upperman High School this year. So the numbers in all 3 high schools have increased dramatically this year. So I think there'll be a teacher at Upperman
now,
next
before
year.
we go, we know you've had some success stories. So tell us about one of your success stories before we go on.
I've had many. One of the ones that brings it all home full circle, I had a young lady that was interested in nursing. This was in the early onset of the class. She was interested in nursing. I placed her in nursing. She graduated, went on to get her degree, and is an LPN. Contacted me last summer, said, will you be a reference for me to apply for a job as the nurse at Burks Elementary? And I did. She got the job, and I was able to place 4 of the students that I have this year. So she was in the work-based learning class, and now she is a mentor to these other 4 students right now.
Well, this is a wonderful program, and thank you so much for being on Live at 5 to tell us about it. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Big Payback is coming soon. The annual 24-hour online giving celebration helps raise funds for nonprofits. Support WCTE PBS during the Big Payback, and your gift can help us win prizes, doubling your impact. Visit thebigpayback.org on May 4th to help support WCTE PBS.
Welcome back to Live at 5 with our next guest, Mr. Mark Tilka. Welcome to Live at 5.
Thanks for having me, Cephas.
Yes, and you're here to talk about archery in Cookeville. Tell us about that.
So it's actually really big around in the surrounding area. White County was one of the people that helped get us started. The program there is huge, and they actually won first place at state this year. So they're a very competitive program. So it was good to have them kind of get us started. But it's much bigger than people think. And there's a lot of people that grow up with bows like I did. They grow up hunting, shooting bows. So there's a lot of a huge base to pull from for our programs. So it's pretty cool and easy to get people interested in.
Now, you are a brave man because you do it with elementary school and the middle school. Tell us about that.
That's a good one, because we started off as a middle school program. The program, one of the reasons I got into it was because I wanted to have something to relate with my children. My daughter was coming up from 4th grade to 5th grade. And as I think as parents out there know, when your kids start growing, it's harder to connect with them. So I was looking for something, and archery was something that we both enjoyed. I shoot at home and she saw me there. So it was something that I was able to get involved in. And I was really fortunate because Trey Upchurch was my principal at the time at the middle school, and he had applied for a grant. And if anybody out there is wanting to start a program, there's lots of grants to get you started. So we actually had the equipment, and I'd asked him if it was possible to start a team. He was more than happy to have us start a team. And that year was, we had a lot of parent support. We had a lot of support from the community. Upper Cumberland Electric Membership Cooperative, they gave us a scholarship. The TWRA gave us a scholarship. We had Outdoor Junction that had given us a scholarship. Academy, or not scholarships, they donated stuff. Academy had donated stuff. And then the All Good Car Wash. So with all those resources, we actually grew our team from the middle school team to the elementary team. And that's where you kind of led into. The elementary team, we wanted to have a group of younger students so we could build the base for our middle school team. That's one of the things that we've kind of struggled with, because I think it's around 77% of the archers that come into our programs have never touched a bow. Cool. So part of this program is to get them familiar with and get them into activities that get them outside, interested in the outdoors. And another cool thing about the program is that our elementary, middle school, it doesn't matter what gender you are, your size, your ability, your economic background, anybody can participate in this program.
Now, is this safe for little kids to run around with bows?
Great question. So in the very beginning of it, they don't touch a bow. So what they're doing in the beginning is they're learning about archery, learning about bows. We have commands, we use whistles to let them know what they're supposed to be doing. And before they ever touch a bow, they have string bows, which they make and they can take home with them. And it simulates shooting a bow where you have a string wrapped around your finger and you can get the technique down. So even if they never get a bow, they have something they can practice with. Once they show us that they're proficient in being safe on the line, that's when we start letting them have a bow and an arrow.
Now, how many students total do you have?
So we fluctuate, but typically around 44 to 60.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big program, and we do it 4 days a week. So we broke it into 2 different groups. We have a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday group, and then we actually added an advanced Friday class, so we do it 5 days a week now, but it's just recent.
Now, tell us about some of the success you've had. You've been to state.
Yes.
You've had some winners that are going to nationals. We've got about 30 minutes, but in 30 seconds, tell us about that.
So 8 tournaments we've done this year. We went to state. We have one in the top 10 in state. We've won 5 trophies out of the 8 local tournaments that we've done. So a lot of success lately. So it was very exciting for our team, and hopefully we're going to send some more next year to nationals. That's the goal.
Right. And I know you're a school psychologist, so this somehow helps the students with their self-esteem.
Yes, definitely. I think the kids that are coming to us, they might not fit into other sports, but archery is something, like I said, that anybody can do. You build confidence. You're part of a team. There's so many beneficial in the physical activity. And focus are all things that you gain from archery. So,
well, thank you so much for being on here, and I want you to come back to tell us more about this and show us some winners, and it's just a good program.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. This concludes our program of Live at 5. Thank you for joining us. Please join us next week again for the next show of Live at 5. Don't forget to donate to your local PBS station. See you next week.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us back for the encore on Sunday at noon. A brand new show of Live at 5 will return at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you for watching.